Homies, what's going on? It was ecstatic today. Really getting some good control back in the lifts, the way that I really want them to feel. There's definitely still some soreness to my rear delt and infraspinatus area, just behind the shoulder in general. But all in all, I have to be extraordinarily grateful that it's come down to just soreness. You know, I was a little afraid of the muscle being fully pulled when I first had my shoulder get a little funky a couple weeks ago, but we're already on the way back. And what a day to do it in. I was talking to a homie today about my ideologies a little bit, I guess, when it comes to lifting. And, you know, I like to fuck around. I like to joke about it and just kind of make it seem like it's no big deal. But she's like, oh, what are you going to do today? And I'm like, oh, you know, just heavy, like, not heavy, but a comfortably heavy top single on clean and jerk, just whatever, you know, not going over what I know I can do just because I don't want to rush it. But then front squat and clean pulls, the shoulder injury wasn't affecting that. So just whatever felt fun for a top single as well, just to get back into it. Not really much thoughts about it, just all I wanted to do was have as much fun as I could while making sure I kept my body's physical wellness first. And she's like, oh, well, why are you going heavy? You know, that's kind of ridiculous. You know, you took 4 days off and this is your first recovery week back in and you're already throwing this heavyweight. Why would you do that? That's stupid. And I'm like, this is what I've come to realize a lot when it comes to especially recovery. And so much of it is really being able to comprehend your own body's limitations per rep. You know, not just per set, not just per exercise, but every single rep. You have to be not so much overanalyzing, but, you know, looking into every single rep and being like, okay, was this the standard? You know, was this what allows me to move on to that next step and try something new? You know, whether it's weight that I've hit before in the past or not, you have to treat yourself like a new lifter every single day. You know, it's not just, oh, well, 275 front squat's stupid easy. I'm not even going to think about it. No, I'm going to treat that set just like I treat every other set, whether it's a max out or the bar, because that's what you have to do in order to put it the maximum amount of output, you know, and that passion behind it. It's not just about hitting a number or following a percentage chart or a strict program. It's just, what do you think is going to challenge yourself? What do you think is going to push you? But at the same time, allow you that freedom to know that you're going to have fun no matter what happens. I don't care if I get injured, honestly. And I don't mean that in the sense that I don't care about my body. I'm always putting my body's physical wellness first. And that's what I was trying to explain today. It's not that I'm just doing random weights for bullshit, whatever reasons. You know, well, if I get injured, who cares? No, I care, obviously. But I don't care to the extent of if I'm putting in that maximum amount of passion behind it and truly loving it, truly enjoying what I'm doing, regardless of what I'm doing in the day, whether it's weightlifting or not. I don't care if I take a step back in the short term when it comes to the monetary or material side of it all, the statistics, whatever you want to call it. The enjoyment is what comes first, as well as your own well-being, you know? Because you obviously need to make sure that your body stays as healthy as possible in order to maintain the level of enjoyment that you want to hit, that you expect yourself to hit, because everybody's going to have a certain level of expectation, no matter how much hope you try to depend on. But it's simply just giving yourself that trust, you know, that level of commitment to what you believe is capable and what you kind of dream of being your potential. As, you know, corny as it may sound, everybody's best potential, your best levels of progress, your highest feats of anything and whatever hobbies or passions you end up doing in your life, they come from those initial dreams. You know, I like to call them my dream weights. And they're weights that right now I can't imagine hitting. But I know for a fact that based off my own individual effort that I have the chance to make it one day, as long as I continue this highly passionate, highly intensive, and just enjoyable path of lifting. You know, I mentioned this a good bit. You know, if you look back at my channel from, let's say, 10 months ago, 11 months ago, back when I was in Orlando at the old gym, technically, I was stronger back then. Technically. When it comes to the numbers, when it comes to how big a weight I could put up, technically, I was generally stronger back then when it came to, like, especially my power lifts, my squats and my bench. Olympic lifts now have just started to take over again. But what I mean by this is that the progress has not been linear, and it never is going to be. You know, it's something that you have to really accept, that it's never going to go the way you want to, and you're never going to end up where you believed you would have in the first place. You know, whatever you imagine yourself doing, it's probably not going to be exactly where, or relatively even close to what you dream of in the first place. But it's that continuation of adaptation behind that dream that allows it to further flourish into something different that you can truly care about, you know? Because, again, I'm not on any extraordinarily strict program. If I feel pain, if I feel like I'm overworked, if I feel like it's just not going to be good for me to go hard as I can, I don't. Even if it's not aligning with the schedule perfectly, it's that level of flexibility that allows you to remain passionate, that keeps the mystery and the ambiguity of your progress floating in the air. Because I don't want to know exactly how good I'm going to be in a certain amount of time. It ruins the fun. When you're... Bad example, don't ever fucking gamble. But anytime you're basing something off of luck, statistics, whatever you want to call it, you don't know when you're going to win. It's that one incredible day where all that good karma finally comes back to pat you on the back and reminds you that you did good, that the progress was worth it, whether it's a bigger number or not. I've never been more proud of myself today, even though I'm not as strong as I was almost a year ago now, because my form has never been better. My technique has never been so consistent. I've never made so many strides in figuring out what has been wrong with my body up till this point. There's so many things I would have never have even began to thought of if I had just done the same thing over and over and over again without allowing myself that flexibility, My girlfriend's flipping me off. Oh, my Lord. Anyway, but my point is that no matter what kind of program you do or what expectations you try to uphold yourself to, the passion behind what you do, how much you truly care about those initial dreams, it's going to be what carries you through the worst of it. It doesn't even feel like I've been on and off injured for a year, but I have to remind myself sometimes that my knee especially has been injured for 10 months, and it's going to be chronic. It's something that was a big fuck up, but I accept that limitation. I accept that fault because it was my own and nobody else's. And the quicker you accept it and move on with the current body you have and the potentials that it's capable of in this moment, rather than what you think it is, that's what you got to accept. Because if it were a year ago, I would have told you that my front squat was 405. I've never hit it before, but statistically, I'm set up to hit it really well. Today, I'm going to go a little bounce back. Let me go in order. The clean and jerks, again, I really wanted to make sure it was recovery based. So I just did 275 on the clean and jerks. Really wanted to get that solid technique and know that it was there without overworking my shoulder too much. Because that initial dead hang in the beginning of the clean is what's putting the most stress on it. And then the split jerk was definitely suffering a little bit today, but I think it came through and through really well by the time I hit that top set. But just the front squats, that's what I really want to hone in on today. Because I haven't given them as much love in the past year, especially when my knee started going down. I kind of branched away from it. Not that I stopped doing them, but I stopped giving them that level of care and attention they deserved to become something else. And as well as accessorize my clean and jerk, which is what it's meant for. And I look back even before when I was as strong as being able to put up 405, because I truly believe I could have front squatted 405 way back in the day. Because I think the heaviest weight I hit before my knee ended up taking a plunge was 375 for a top double, which is nuts. And I still can't do that right now. Today, I'm very close. I think I'm just about where I was a year ago. I think I'm, like, number-wise lining up right where it was. But today, I kept going up, and I got to 355 because on my last recovery week, I did an accessory with that weight, and it went really well. And obviously, I was peaked for that, so it was a bit easier. After the 4-day break for my shoulder and getting back in this week, which is not as much strength in my main muscle groups and my core, it definitely didn't move the way it did last week. But it doesn't matter. It still moved incredibly well. My form and technique was superb, 100%. That consistency is really pulling through. And 355 was extremely consistent, very fluent. But it's the idea that I had that extra bit of energy left over. You know, I knew I had more in me. And if you're going to sit there and be afraid of it, then you might as well not even try, because that's what's going to take you down. It's the fact that I knew I hadn't given it everything that I was currently capable of in that moment without putting my body on the line, that I had to give it one more, put on 365. I haven't touched that weight since my knee exploded. It's something to really think about. I have not even gone near that weight in so long because of a lot of fear, but also just overall lack of confidence whatsoever, you know? And it wasn't super pretty. It wasn't as consistent as the 355, but damn it, man, I truly don't care, because it was incredible to even just give it that effort. Know that I had the availability through all of the efforts I've put in this past year, all of the previous downtrodden videos where I am at my lowest of lows when it comes to the weights. And to just be able to throw that without even really have to think about it. I haven't front squatted in over a week, and it just went. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it makes the dream weights even more feasible, you know? Because right now I can't imagine putting 405 up on front squat, even though I could a year ago. Even though I probably was overestimating it. But it's the fact that I'm finally accruing that interest of deserved potential is what's gotten me the most excited, for sure. Clean pulls were also great. I haven't been able to really go hard on those at all recently because, again, just the CNS has not been primed enough. My core has not been where it needs to be. And the back and forth with my shoulder just was making it difficult. And now I'm at that point where I'm chilling. It's finally, it's moving the way I want it to, you know? And that's what I love to see. Oh. I ended up going to 405 today on clean pull, and it was really rejuvenating because it honestly didn't even feel that hard. The only reason I didn't go up, because I started imagining myself going to 455 today, because that was one of the old numbers I hit a while ago. But I knew that the point of the high pull, first of all, the clean pull, is not to put on heaviest weight. It's just to get as high a pull as you can with a comfortably heavy weight so that you can burn the CNS but also not injure yourself along the way. And I did feel a bit of extra strain on my body, my low back, CNS, knee. Everything was just kind of like starting to hit that point of just like, all right, man, you put in 100%, I promise. You may not have screamed as loud as you have in the past, but it was there. And that's what's important. So I got to stay humble and be okay with that, you know? Get to that next point. And we here, damn it. Physically, oh, man. I'll give it a very, very solid 9.5. It was a great day, incredible progress, because it's that next step, you know? And I'm definitely going to take my time in getting back into the actual, like, consistent program, because I look back at the old cycle that I made so much progress in. You know, before my knee exploded, I spent about a year progressing without any plateauing because I was very linear about my progression and I didn't really fuck around that much. And that's all good and all, but I want to make sure I keep as much passion as I can to the weight. So it's good to bounce back and forth. You know, that's why I have a couple weeks of progressive overload when it comes to a little bit more strict percentage. But then afterward, once I've earned the effort of the cycle, whatever I hit at the peak week, I get to come back down, just kind of have fun, do really hard technique, accessory type lifts, complexes, whatever, and just have fun. And that it may not be a deload, but that recovery week really just brings the love back into it and just allows me to just kind of step away from the normal competitive side of the sport and just enjoy my own personal time and make it my own thing for a minute. Mentally, 9.55, just right above. It was a very consistent day when it came to my mental and physical just lining up really well together. Just a great time with the homies, great time at work, just getting all my stuff done, just having a fun time all overall whatsoever. Just not really having to worry about anything, And it's really nice, especially when I get to get on these videos with you guys and not report negativity, And not that I'm going to avoid it. It's just the fact of I'm always going to give you guys whatever little bits of negative stimulus I go through just to make sure I get it out in a healthy way so that I can build up to do better in the future. But this was just a purely progressive day, We are only on the way up, and I can't be more excited, It's going to be 2 more days of recovery. I'm going to finish out the week like normal. So tomorrow will be some snatch and back squat work. So I'll see if a little bit heavier of a snatch feels better. Go to like 2 plates or so. And then back squat again. I'll try something maybe rep wise instead of just doing the top single, because I haven't done much set or rep work in the past few weeks. So give it a chance with that. And then again, I'm really not going to rush back into it. I want to break the cycle of rushing back into my normal program exactly where I left off, so I can just feel like I'm on track. And I'm just going to restart one last time. And again, if I need to restart again, who cares? I'll do it. But in the moment, I'm going to believe that I have it in me to continue beyond it. Because I think that once I have this one solid cycle where there's not a single injury, there's not a single thing setting me back, there's not a single thing that makes me feel like I can't lift, I think that's when the real start of true number growth is going to happen. And I'm always going to commit to the idea that it's not about the numbers, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I don't still train for those reasons. I love putting up heavier numbers, and that's one of the biggest parts of the passion behind it. So if it's deserved and it's there, I'm giving it my best effort. Damn it. So give it some time. Let me get through this deload week where I just get everything confident. And then next week, I'll do one last, complex, hard technique, just have fun week where I feel everything out. And then once I am fully primed for all of my lifts, I will get back on the normal program, doing my reps and my sets for a couple weeks, and then earn the increases along the way so that I can feel like I'm finally back on that consistent, just up without having to even think about my body testing me. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Let me know how the lives and lists have been going, and I will be back tomorrow as always. I love you guys. See you later. Bye.